really do paint these pictures for the patients and tell them, this is what is to be done for your process? Do we tell them? Or you just attend to the chief complaint and then start your facts and figures and then wait for the ultimate test? You've got to build up that picture for the patient. The minute the value increases of your services and it starts matching the price what the patient can pay, the patient is yours. Find out why of the patient. Find that why of your patient. Doctor, you said your patient's the chief complaint is procrastination of teeth, right? Is that really the chief complaint? All the time we have been told, you please write in patient's word the chief complaint of your patient in their case papers. Yes or no? Is that the real chief complaint? I beg to differ on that. That is never the chief complaint. That is just a symptom. I know your teeth are out. No, not yours. I know your teeth are out. Everybody knows your teeth are out. Your neighbor would know your teeth are out. Your friends would know your teeth are out. But tell me something. What is the reason that you want to get them corrected now? You have lived all 20 years with that proclaimed teeth. You never thought about it. What is it that you want the treatment now? A younger kid, chief complaint, teeth are out. No, that's not the chief complaint. Then the mother will come. No, doctor, you know the real problem is there are other kids in school who are teasing him with his teeth out. That's the problem. And all the time we are just thinking, teeth are out. Yes, no? Now you have got to catch that, and when you counsel the patient, you tell them, I am going to do such a wonderful job for you that nobody will dare tease you. It will be the other way around. You will start teasing others in your class. Can you imagine what will go through the heart of that lady, the mother of that kid? The kid who has been ridiculed for the teeth, now he'll be a superlative structure and he'll start ridiculing the other. So my doctor is going to give him such a kind of teeth? Excellent. That is where you are addressing the chief complaint. Teeth being out is not the chief complaint. And it is the same reason that you have to find that why of your patients. That why is very important. Each of you, if I ask one by one, there's a door there. Please go and break that door. How many of you would be interested? Would you be interested? Not the committee members. Alright. Now I'll see how I create that interest for you. Now Mandar, I'll give you a hammer, a nice looking hammer, maybe a golden hammer, and tell you to break it. Would you break it? No. Now there is nothing. No. Now imagine your mother is stuck in that room and that room is on fire. Mandar, what are you going to do? Break it. If I try to hold you back, you'll break me first and then still go and break that, right? Hello? It's the same work he's doing. He's still breaking the door. I asked him to break it earlier. The only difference is the reason. You've got to find that reason for doing certain things. And you've got to find that reason for your patients why he wants to do the treatment. Doctor, you get a lot of edentulous patients. Am I right? What would be the real problem for an edentulous guy? He will come with a chief doctor, doctor, 32 बिटाना है. Would he say anything more than that? अरे 32 क्यों नहीं बिटाना है? There would be some guys, डॉक्टर स्मार्ट लगना है. बीवी के दादा अच्छे see this. बीवी के दांत अच्छे हैं. Now that's his chief complaint. You know what? How I would tackle that patient? जो बीवी के दांत अच्छे हैं, तो बीवी जैसे दांत तेरे को चाहिए? That's how we want to address that patient. The moment the patient hears that, this guy is he is trying to give me as good teeth as what my wife has. He would have gone to 10 other dentists. He would have gone everywhere, and everybody is trying to fit that buttis in his mouth for no reason. He would be fida on you, that patient. You find the real reason. You find that why of each patient that you treat. Make sense? Dr. Patil?
Yes.
A why in your case can be very colorful. डॉक्टर ठीक से दिखाई नहीं देता है. That is the chief complaint. Ask him, go next to him. उनको ठीक से क्या देखना है? You got to find that reason. All right. Now, using logic and emotions in your practice. What does that mean? Logic means seeing things and make them think. Like, say, for example, when you are discussing your cases with your patients, you see those cases. You see what you have. You would have treated some other cases. You would like to show it to your patients. You've got to show your cases and then convince them. Try to convince them that yes, this is what can be done for you. This is one part of the conversation. The second part is emotions. That emotions comes through hearing. If your patient is only going to see what you do, can you imagine? In your consulting room, you have kept a computer screen and your cases run one after the other. Beautiful cases. But you never talk anything to your patients. What would happen to those patients? They'll go nice, wonderful, what? Doctor, beautiful teeth, beautiful work, excellent, everything is nice. He'll close down his book, magazine, get up, go to the next dentist and tell him, this is what I saw there, I want you to do this. This is what happens if you don't talk to your patients. If you don't show what you do and if you just keep talking to your patients, the patients will say, okay, yes, wonderful doctor, you're an excellent doctor, I will definitely come and get treatment. Then you ask for an appointment. No, doctor, I will ask my wife and I'll tell you. If you don't show what you do and if you just keep talking, you can do this, you can do that, I can do a beautiful set of teeth, I can do this, I use this bond, that bond, patient will feel you're a James Bond. Okay, remember the patients do not buy your services, they actually buy the benefits of what they are going to enjoy in future. You are doing a composite filling, right? When you do a composite filling, is the patient paying for that little piece of composite? Is he paying for that little piece of composite? Or is he paying to look nice and a beautiful restoration? So they are actually paying you for the benefit of what the services that you are doing. Convincing and persuading. How many of you believe you should convince your patients? Raise your hands. Good, I think I've got a good audience. How many of you believe you should persuade your patients? 1, 2. Persuade. Sum of half. Full. Full ticket. 3. What is the difference between convincing and persuading? Okay, this is interesting. Now watch carefully. You know who these two guys were? Aristotle and Galileo. We heard about them, right? They were in our friendly neighborhood in our textbooks all the time. Yes, no? They both were astronomers, scientists, whatever you call them, but they were poles apart. Aristotle was somewhere in BC, 350 BC. He did wonderful things. He gave various theorems. He gave a lot of understanding about universe and this and that. Everything well he did in his life. And that was, he gave a theory and told us that if you drop two articles of the same material, but one which is heavier and one which is lighter, the heavier one will fall down first, the lighter one will fall later. Is that true or false? It is true. Is that true or false? If you take two objects and drop them, would they exactly fall at the same time or not? Okay, then let us brush a little bit. When you drop two objects, irrespective of the weights, both the objects will fall at the same time. Okay? But they kept teaching in the universities all over Europe. Aristotle was a Greek scientist. They kept teaching all over Europe that if you have a lighter object, it will fall a little later. Somewhere in the 15th century, a hero came into the picture. Who? Galileo. Galileo was the one who challenged that theory. So what he did, he took two metal objects of the same metal. When he was an Italian scientist, he went straight to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. He took those objects of different weights. He gathered a lot of people to see and witness what it was, and he dropped them exactly at the same time, and the whole world, whole of the people who were standing there, they watched that the two objects fell exactly at the same time. Was that not enough to convince everybody that the two objects fell at the same time? Hello? Yes. That was enough, right? But guess what? For years after that, they still kept teaching the Aristotle's theory in Europe for a long time. What does that mean? It means that though he convinced everybody that he was right, he did not persuade them to take action to change their curriculum of teaching. Make sense? Have you understood? Now, how does that apply to us? Restorative material convincing. Let us say Naval has come to you for treatment. Okay? You see some cavities on the back teeth and some cavities here and there. And you want to do the best of the treatment for Naval. Patient has come to you, Naval has come to you. There are cavities in the teeth. You explain the facts and figures and say, Naval, you have got those cavities in your mouth and we have got to do those fillings. Then what do you do? Then like good dentist, we take out the company provided charts. This is a metal filling, this is a tooth colored. Tooth colored filling is better. Why? Because chemical bond, this bond and the James bond. Tooth colored filling is better. And then wait what? For patient's response. Now what the patient is going, what Naval is going to say? Doctor पीछे का दांत है ना, भर दो जान. How often is that response? Very often. You have lost on your patients, you have lost on the work that you could do for them, and more important, your patient has lost the benefit of that treatment that would have been better for that patient. Make sense? Understood? Now, if that is so, That was I was trying to convince Naval and telling her that you need to do all this, right? That is called as convincing. Now what is persuasion? What is persuasion? What is our idea of persuasion? Patient के पीछे भागना. Is that our idea of persuasion? Yes, it was my idea of persuasion at least. If somebody would have asked me 5 years back, would you persuade your patients? I would start imagining things running after patient. Does that mean persuasion? No, that does not mean persuasion. Persuasion does not mean even offering discounts to your patients. When you have told the patient this is feeling, that feeling, you don't go to that extent. Does that है ना? 8 का लगा हुआ अरे did she ask? 8 का लगाओ, 9 का लगाओ. Did the patient ask? We have all learned facts and figures, no? So we know those figures. 8, 10. So how much volumes? So 8 का 4 लगाओ. Persuasion also does not mean installments. शुरू तो करो. 10,000 होता है ना, अभी 2,000 हो. 2,000 बाद में दो. 2,000 उसके बाद में दो. By the time you go to the next, you have lost the count. फिर दो या ना दो. That is what is installments. To be very frank, I did that for my orthodontic patients. I used to do that. Did ever the patient ask me for discounts? Did the patient ever ask me for installments? And do your patients ask you for all that? Do you ever ask? Patients ask? Yes. Why? Why do they ask? Because you have given them a leeway to ask. Your posture, your way of talking makes them realize that once they can ask certain things, they can ask for the second also. I'll come to that. So, what does persuasion actually mean? Persuasion actually means, giving good advice. Persuasion actually means giving good advice in advance. In advance means telling prior to even what patients would have asked for. That is what is called as persuasion. And how do you do that? You give that advice by not telling them. Surprised? You give that advice by not telling them. Then how do you give that advice? How do you give that advice? By asking them. Now I'll repeat the same example for you. Naval has come to treatment. I see there are a lot of cavities. Naval, I've seen your teeth. I know what your chief complaint was. Can I ask you a question? The most important question is this. Can I ask you a question? If I ask you, doctor, can I ask you a small question? Any time in the world, would you ever say no? If I ask you the same question, can I ask you a small question? Would you ever say no? You never have a choice. There is no choice. Yes, of course. One thing more has happened. When I ask this question to my patient, I am actually taking the permission of the patient to ask the next question. I am taking the permission of the patient to ask the next question. So when I say, Naval, can I ask you a question? Naval is going to actually give you a smile. Because never a doctor has asked us such a question. Yes, doctor. Please ask. What is it? Naval, don't you think you reasonably have a good smile? What has happened here? Their smile has become a little broader now, Naval. You have raised your patient on a pedestal. Very important. What choice Naval has? Would she ever say no? I don't have those. But one thing, be sure. You have got to be honest with yourself. And the patient should really have a good smile, or reasonably a good smile. You cannot have a patient with a facial palsy and you tell them you have a reasonably good smile. No, not that way. The patient really has to have a reasonably a good smile. It should come from within your heart. Don't, with a facial palsy, you may tell him, I think the next patient, I know what he's going to show the palsy on the other side. Okay. Now you have asked, you have reasonably a good smile. The patient is going to smile a little. Now since you have a reasonably a good smile and you agree to it, don't you? Would you like to maintain that good smile? Or would you like to have a metallic smile? Me as her dentist, I am feeling that she should not have a metallic smile. But if I tell her, Naval, you go for a tooth colored filling, you don't go for the metallic smile will be bad for you. Now I want to convey the same thing to her, but not by telling her, but by asking her, would you like to have a natural and would you like to maintain that good smile, or would you like to have a metallic smile? What choice Naval has? Would any sane person say, no, I would like to have a bad smile? Or you please spoil my smile? What choice the patient has? Doctor, please go ahead with that tooth color today. That's the reply you're going to get. Watch it out. My next question. I'm not bothered about what the treatment is that filling is going to cost. I'm only bothered about to the patient. Naval, the difference between the two fillings. Would you like to know the difference between the cost of the two fillings? I will charge 800 rupees for a tooth. I never ask her, would you like to know what is it going to cost for the tooth color filling? That figure is a substantial figure. You bring that figure. She is anyway going to pay for the metallic filling. So what is my interest? Whether she wants to pay that little extra for the tooth color. Naval, would you mind paying that 200 rupees extra for that filling? Doctor, only 200? Why did you ask me all that? But if you tell her, Naval, it is going to cost you 800 rupees and then wait for the response. Whether she is coming forward or... Are you getting that point? You have got to ask for a response. It's the same thing what you want to tell, but it's in a question form. What is the heart of the sale process? Sale process is something that you do for your patients or to your patients? See, that's the difference. You have got to do your services for your patient. You have got to go on the other side of your consulting table, sit with the patient and look from his perspective whether what you are doing he can afford or not, whether he needs it or not, whether what you are doing is right or wrong for him. You are the decision maker. If you feel it's right, you should persuade him to take action to do the right thing. If you feel, cost is not the matter. Whether what you are doing for him is right or wrong is the question. Cost is not the matter. This concept that I am going to discuss now is really going to fundamentally shake us a bit. Tell me something. in a sale process you made some profit, right? Yes, no? You made some money in that process of the sale, you made some money or not? You make a profit or the patient makes a profit? Think properly. You make a profit or the patient makes a profit? Both? You earn money, right? Who made the profit? Both. That means what you're trying to tell me is, whatever you earned in your first year of your practice, you lost that in the first year of your practice, in form of expenditure. Yes or no?
I only 200 rupees.
Okay.
100 rupees savings are 100 rupees was the profit.
Okay, 100 rupees, let us assume 100 rupees was your profit. How long did that another 100 rupees last with you? Immediately you lost it, right? Dr. Mahesh, your edentulous patient, first year practice, first month of your practice. The denture you gave to that patient in the first year and first month of your practice, how long did that patient use that denture? How many years passed? Guys, folks, it was the same cell process in which Dr. Gandewar paid some money which he did not last even maybe for a year. But in that same process, in return, he gave something to the patient which the patient is still using for 15 years. Who is a bigger benefactor in that process? It is never us. When you say both of us made profits, never. Always the person who takes the services is always the bigger benefactor of the sale process. If the patient does not start the treatment, you are in a firing range. You fire a bullet at the target. If the bullet does not hit the target, is it the fault of the target? Can it be the fault of the target? Similarly, if the patient doesn't start the treatment with you, the problem is not with the patient. The problem is with us. We failed to fire it in the right direction. Now suppose such a person has come to your practice, and let me assume that he has come to my practice. Would you like to know how I would deal with that patient? Suggest me a name. Project. Doctor, she has come to you for the first time? Dr. Prajakta, it's such a wonderful opportunity to have you here. And it's a pleasure, in fact, that you have come to us for the dental treatment. What is the way that I can help you? Can you let me know what is the way I can help you? Then what is Prajakta going to say? Doctor, I have a tooth here, and even before she sits on the dental chair, in the consulting chair only she will. I have got a cavity there. Dr. Prajakta, I really understand your concern, but can I ask you to do a little small thing? Can we go on to the dental chair and can I have a better look at your teeth? Never ever see your patients on that consulting table. Initially they will show like this. After that, because then they want to see the tooth like it last. That wisdom tooth. Because everybody will have that wisdom tooth. Now what we have done here? One, you express the patient that you mean business. Please get on the dental chair and I'll see you there. One. You check the patient. I personally have, I don't like the idea of talking to the patients. Once I've Once I've done the clinical examination, I would love to get the patient back into the consulting room and then speak to them. I don't speak to them on the dental chair. 2. Dr. Prajakta, are you aware about all the problems that you have? Of course you have that problem which you showed me. But apart from that, are you aware about the other problems that you have? That's my question to her. I'm not telling her, Prajakta, you have other problems in your mouth. Then what she will come up, she will either say, yes, I am aware that I have other 2-3 fillings. Oh doctor, I never knew. She is not aware. Would you like me to tell you about it? See, everything that I am putting it in a question form to her. Would you like to know what other things are there? Alright. Now here what you have expressed that you are a thorough professional. You are not just looking at a problem, you are looking at other potential problems also. Now Dr. Prajakta, having understood what these problems, would you like to make me a time frame for which within I can treat you? I'm asking. Now, all the time when I'm asking her, I have an important physical activity going on. You know what is it? I'm nodding my head. Would you like to know? Would you like to do this? When I'm nodding my head, you know what it means? The next time she also starts nodding. Now, Prajakta. Okay, now there are 2 situations. Either I want to charge the full amount to the patient, or I would like to give some. I will tell you both. Prajakta, I have told you about what all problems are there. Would you also like to know what it is going to cost? Don't tell her, Prajakta, this is what this is there, and this is going to cost you this much, and then wait for a response. That is where the retaliation comes. That's not good communication. Now you are taking her permission. Now to tell her the cost, when she has given you the permission, then to tell, it is easily accepted. But when I tell, Prajakta, see this is the feeling, that is the feeling. See you told me this, but you know there are other 2-3 feelings in your mouth. You know what the patient is going to feel? You are trying to please her. I have come for one bloody problem, and you are telling me 3 other problems. You have no other business, though it's our business, but then they'll feel it that way. But when I say, would you like me to make you aware that there are some other problems? Now I'm taking her permission. When she said, oh, yes, of course, please let me know. Or she will say, oh no, yes, I am aware, but can we do something about it? See, everything I'm putting in a question form. The slightest thing that I want to tell the patient is in the form of a question. It's very critical. Or if I want to give the concessions to this patient. See, are you aware about, should I tell you about what the exact cost is? This is, but since we are from the same fraternity, there are certain things that we do for our own family members, and I would like to extend that to you. And would you like to know how much, see I'm not telling her how much concession, would you like to know how much of concessions we give to our fraternity? And then you tell, it may be 10%, 15%, 50%, 80%, whatever it is. That's you to decide. But you've got to put it this way. Would you like to know how much of concessions we extend to our fraternity members? And now when I was conversing with you, did you feel at ease when I was putting you these questions? This is called as transferring that feeling. Now I want to really, that patient should really start with me. I want that patient should not have an ill feeling about me. I don't want to have a miscommunication with the patient, and I don't want me to lose my money for doing the work that I'm supposed to do. Now if you want to do all this is the kind of communication you got. When relatives come to me, see, you have got to have a formula designed, pre-hand. I have a diagrammatic representation of what I do. I am at the center of that. They are all concentric circles. I am at the center. The next is my immediate family. The one behind that is my very close relatives. One, our circle after that, not very close relatives, but relatives, friends, and close friends might come even closer. You've got to understand which category you're going to give how much concessions. You've got to understand for which category, I would not put it concessions, I would put it which category you would like to help how much. You've got, this is all, it should not come as a surprise to you. This relative has come, oh my God, my relative, this, that. Otherwise you would have prescribed a nice ceramic restoration, RPD take away. You got to understand these are your patients, you got to give your best to them also. But you got to categorize and then persuade them by asking them. This is what I'm glad that you have come to me. Excellent. You want me to do the best of the job? Excellent. There are some costs involved. Would you like to know what those costs are? Okay. And since you are my relative, would you also like to know what concessions I give for relatives? Things made easier? You have opened the communication gap. You have opened up the communication channel. This is the way you got to converse and make things crystal clear.